Now we have another breaking news coming in from Israel. The Israeli military confirms that its forces are now fully deployed and ready for offensive operations across all sectors and against any enemy. This announcement follows a massive joint air campaign by Israel and the United States, codenamed Roar of the Lion and Operation Epic Fury. The IDF reports that these initial strikes targeted dozens of strategic military sites across Iran aimed at dismantling Tehran's missile capabilities. As we speak, Israel is under a nationwide state of emergency. Military officials state that they are prepared for a multi-front conflict as sirens continue to sound, and the IRGC confirms its own retaliatory missile waves are underway. The situation is extremely fluid, with the IDF warning that this is only the beginning of a broader campaign to remove what they call an existential threat to the region. Now we welcome back Mr. Stav Cohen. He is once again joining us live from Tel Aviv from a bunker. Thank you very much, Mr. Cohen, for staying with us throughout. Now, Mr. Cohen, you know, like US and Israel are allies in this, Iran also has allies, and they don't openly say that they are allies many times, but of course Iran does have allies. How do you analyze the cooperation that we might see between Iran and its allies? Let's say maybe it can be Russia, or it can be, yes, what do you think?
Absolutely. Israel's allies are seeking for peace, freedom, and life. Iranians' allies are seeking for blood, destruction, and dictatorship. That's pretty much sums it up. Israel and the US are fighting in the name, on behalf of the Western world these days, making pure history, showing, not only to the 90 million Iranian people, but for the entire Middle East, for the entire world, that jihad is no longer an option. You have no room in 2026 to order a woman how she should dress, if she should have a hair and face cover or not. You have no room for dictatorship in 2026. This is not the 7th century anymore, the mentality that they, Iranian and radical Muslims, are stuck in. In 2026, it's all about freedom. It's all about life. It's all about fighting, if necessary, for those values. Israelis and the US are not afraid to shed blood for that cause. No one is eager for that. We will see some casualties. Unfortunately, it is you cannot prevent it. This is war. This is what you will see. Blood, blood, blood. You specifically, personally, unfortunately, ma'am, will have to report on casualties from both sides, because this is the reality that we've been dragged into. And the only reason that we've dragged into this situation, to this reality, is because we are simply refusing to join the evil forces. We're refusing to submit to Allah. We're refusing to submit to a khilafah, one global Islamic state. According to former Iranian president who ruled Iran from 2005 to 2013, they want to convert, and I quote, the entire world into Islam. This is what they want to do. One global Islamic state. We are refusing to submit to radicals. We are refusing to submit for terrorism. We're refusing to submit for the double game of Iran and Qatar. There is no more room for that terror, for those tricks. In 2026, enough people have died, enough Jews, enough Christians, enough Muslims. May I please state that radical Muslims are not danger for Jews and Christians alone. I would say that the first group to be in danger because of radical Muslims are Muslims. It was Muslims who have been stopped in the middle of the street in Syria, as you've mentioned before, by ISIS. ISIS stopped Muslims in the middle of the street in Syria, asked them, how many rak'ah, how many bows do you have in a single day of prayer? You know, it could be anywhere between 15 to 18, depends on the day. I'm not an expert for Islam, but the number could change within every day. And if you did not know the answer as a Muslim in Syria, on the spot, that's it. You're doomed. You'll get the orange sweatsuit on your knees. Your head will be facing down. And this is when their knife cutting off your head. They beheaded Muslims in the name of Allah. You see how twisted, how radical, how wrong their state of mind. This is a 7th century mentality.
Mr. Cohen,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you for sharing that. We have another breaking news coming in, so we'll take it. Thank you very much. Now we have another breaking news coming in from Iran. Iran's foreign ministry has condemned the recent US and Israeli military attacks, describing them as a renewed aggression that comes at a time when both countries were engaged in diplomatic talks. The ministry has confirmed that a range of military and defense targets, as well as civilian infrastructure, were attacked across several Iranian cities. Meanwhile, Iranian authorities have not yet specified the full extent of the damage or casualties. And we have another breaking news coming in from Qatar. According to reports, explosions have been heard in Kuwait and sirens have been activated as tensions escalate in the region. This comes as the Israeli Defense Forces announced a preventive strike against Iran in major escalation of regional conflict. Now we have another breaking news coming in from Israel. Israel's military says it is conducting large-scale attacks on military targets in western Iran, striking precision sites in the region. This comes as the Israeli military has confirmed its forces are now fully deployed and ready for offensive operations across all sectors against any enemy. Now we stay in breaking news from Israel. Israeli Chief of Frontline Command Shai Clapper has addressed the public, praising the resilience of citizens in saving lives during the crisis. He has urged Israelis to prepare by locating protected spaces and utilize open public shelters. Let's listen in.
ניסיון העבר מוכיח שבזכות העמידה המרשימה שלכם וההקפדה על ההנחיות ניצלו חיים רבים. החוסן והאחריות של כל אחד ואחד מכם הם מרכיב מרכזי בהתמודדות עם האיום. נצלו את הזמן הקרוב כדי להכיר ולהכין את המרחב המוגן המיטבי בקרבתכם. בשעה זו, הרשויות המקומיות פותחות עבורכם את המרחבים המוגנים הציבוריים. הכוחות פרוסים, דרוכים וערוכים למענה מיידי על מנת לשמור על ביטחונכם. יישמעו להנחיות פיקוד העורף.
Now we have another breaking news coming in. According to reports, loud explosions have been heard in Abu Dhabi, sparking concerns across the region. This comes as the Israeli Defense Forces announced a preventive strike against Iran in a major escalation of regional conflict. Now we have another breaking news coming in from Iraq. Airstrikes targeted the headquarters of the Iraqi Hashid Shabi Popular Mobilization Forces in the south of Baghdad, killing one and injuring 3 others, according to a spokesperson for the group. The strikes have raised concerns regarding the rising tensions in the region. The Hashid Shabi is an influential paramilitary group in Iraq, and this incident is the latest series of the escalation. Now we stay on breaking news coming in from Kuwait. Explosions have been heard in Kuwait as well, and sirens have been activated as tensions escalate in the region. This comes just as the Israeli Defense Forces have announced a preventive strike against Iran, marking a major escalation in the ongoing conflict. The situation in the Middle East remains volatile, with global powers closely monitoring the developments. Now we welcome Mr. Ambassador Prabhu Dayal. He's a former diplomat, joins us live from New Delhi for this. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador Dayal, for joining us. Now, as tensions escalate, what more can you tell us about this situation? How fragile is this situation? Are we heading towards more escalation, or like my respectively other guest highlighted, that this escalation is necessary for a de-escalation. What's your take?
That there is going to be escalation in the conflict. And the reason I say so is that Donald Trump and the Israelis are very serious about a regime change. You know, although there have been talks which have been taking place between Iran and the United States on the nuclear issue, but their positions remain far apart. Now, yesterday, the Omani foreign minister said that there has been very good progress and he sees the possibility of a deal as being very good. But President Trump said that he was very disappointed, nothing much is taking place, and he hinted at an imminent strike on Iran. Now, all along, the Israelis have been preparing for such a conflict because they have been able to prepare their people regarding what to do, the shelters that are available, and what they should do to use those shelters. And the Iranians have also been doing so. But the level of preparedness of the Iranians for such a situation is much less. And the strikes which took place today were on civilian areas because it is said that the military establishments have been built up in Iran in civilian areas. So if you want to strike military targets, you end up striking civilian areas, and naturally civilian casualties are there. So for all these reasons, I think that there were indications that things were building to a conflict situation. Now, with the US forces deployed around Iran in such great number, 2 major warships are there, the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Gerald Ford. And there are many other warships and more than 150 fighter planes. So the situation is building towards a big-scale conflict. The Americans were preparing themselves. I think that when they were talking about having a deal, they were just building up a facade. They were building up a pretext because all along they were strengthening their forces. And as Trump saw it, there was no possibility of the Iranians abandoning their nuclear program. And the nuclear missiles, if they existed in Iran, would pose a danger to many countries, including, of course, Israel. So the Americans were preparing for a major strike along with the Israelis, and that is what has happened. I think that an escalation of this conflict is very, very likely, and despite efforts which countries like India may make to advise the two sides to de-escalate, I don't think our pleas are...
Ambassador Dayal, thank you for sharing that. We have another breaking news coming in from Israel. The Israeli military spokesperson has issued an evacuation warning for all residents near military installations in Iran. Now we have a breaking news coming in from Jordan. Jordan's Air Force is conducting sorties to protect the kingdom and its citizens amid regional tensions. The military says Royal Jordanian aircrafts are flying routine operations over multiple areas, responding after sirens were reported in Amman. The sorties focus on aerial reconnaissance and inspections to ensure Jordanian airspace remains secure and free from intrusions or illegal activities. Now we have another breaking news coming in from Gulf. Gulf countries Qatar, Kuwait, Syria, and UAE have closed their airspace. This comes just as the Israeli Defense Forces have announced a preventive strike against Iran, marking a major escalation in the ongoing conflict. The situation in the Middle East remains volatile, with global powers closely monitoring the developments. Now we move on to Iran. We have a breaking news coming in from Iran. Iran is facing a near total internet blackout, with national connectivity currently at just 4% of usual levels, according to NetBlocks. The blackout has been confirmed amid ongoing US and Israeli military operations, and it closely mirrors the measures taken during last year's war with Israel. Furthermore, these blackout measures have raised concerns about internet freedom in the country. While the blackout continues, Iranian authorities are yet to release any official statement on this matter. That's all.